Grand National Dirt Track Racing. Its heroes are many, true legends are few. Carol Ressweber, symbol of perfection, four-time champion in the early 60s. The total domination of Scotty Parker through the 80s and the 90s. Now add to that list the gritty determination and style of Rockin' Ricky Graham. Through history, 7 men have won 3 championships, but Ricky's hat trick was like no other. His third title in 1993, one for the record books. Graham no longer walks the Grand National pits, but we all remember him so well.
The first time I really remember ever seeing Ricky Graham, he was riding for Tex Peel. And boy, Tex had a lot of faith in that guy, and all of a sudden he saw something in him, and bang, then we all saw something in him. And of course, the rest of that's just history. We saw him from then on just blistering everybody. They can say what they want to, but he was the greatest.
Ricky Graham? Oh, he's obviously talent-wise, desire-wise, he's got to be, one at the top, no question. His name will be etched in the history of the sport book. I mean, it's without doubt. He's accomplished some things that may never be repeated.
He would do things, and you thought, man, that can't be done on a motorcycle, and he'd go out and do it anyway. And no matter what the bike was like or what conditions the track were, when it come time to race, you knew he was going to be right there.
I remember watching Ricky on the mile in San Jose and just thought, how can a guy go so fast? Running around with different people in this sport, I've seen people go fast, and Ricky was definitely one of the fastest ones, and that's my first impression, was he never shut off the throttle.
I've raced against a lot of the champs over the last 15 years. Raced against guys like Randy Goss, Jay Springsteen, Scott Parker, Bubba Schobert. Of all the former champions that I ever raced against, I never came across a tougher competitor than what I came across with him in 1993 when he won the championship. It's the one thing I'll remember him by the most. That on that particular year, he was tougher to beat than any other champion I ever raced against.
Graham's trip to dirt track immortality began in 1978. He'd paid a lot of dues. Then he won his first national 2 years later, on the mile, naturally, at Indianapolis. In 1982, he won his first championship. It was how he won it that made him a hero. In August at Peoria, Illinois, this horrendous moment. Watch it again. Appreciate the violence of dirt track gone wrong. The crash broke Ricky's back. That's bad enough. We had all feared something worse. In any case, in that anguished moment of waiting for news, we understood that his title hopes were badly threatened. But he picked himself up, strapped on a back brace, and raced on, bent but unbowed. His place in Grand National history assured, the privateer champion who beat the great Springsteen in an epic battle of eventual Hall of Famers. He carried number 1 so proudly, scored 5 national wins, a remarkable 16 top 5s. Against the vaunted Harley-Davidson factory team, he was the hero of the independents and of a growing legion of fans. But his quest fell 8 points short. He lost number 1 to Randy Goss. 84 marked the turning point he dreamed of all his life. His new past champ single-digit number 3 bolted onto a factory bike, complete with big salary, team mechanics. But to the chagrin of the Milwaukee faithful, it was a factory Honda. Ricky's lifestyle improved. His winning ways continued. He and teammates Bubba Schobert and Doug Chandler tried to take the title back from Harley-Davidson. Ricky went to the season's finale, Springfield, Illinois, sitting on a big lead. He could have stroked around, ensured himself a second championship, but Ricky didn't know the meaning of stroke. He was racing for the lead when disaster came calling again. He was on the ground while his title rivals raced on. Miraculously, he got that bike running again.
I'm really comfortable at Springfield, and I was just riding around with everybody and trying to stay real wide and everything when I was going around the corners, giving everybody plenty of room. But Ted Booty was just the kind of racer that you know, he would take you out really, and he just clipped my handlebar, you know, going underneath me and just took me out, and that's the first time I've ever crashed on a mile, and started the bike back up and got going again. You know, to this day I don't know how I got that thing going as easy as it got going too. Because if I wouldn't have got it going again, I wouldn't have won the championship.
The dramatic news came this way. It was quite a celebration by again picking himself up from the dirt, by dragging his injured body back onto that 130-mile-an-hour machine that had just spit him off so violently. Graham again reigned as number one. His splint was the talk of the post-race press conference. He smiled through the pain as the wonder of his second title slowly soaked in. But fame is fleeting. A little more than a year later, after a strong but unsuccessful title defense, Ricky was again a privateer. Honda had cut back its team.
I was really shocked, to be honest, because I thought, you know, I'd come back and done real well, and won some races at the end of the year, and thought everything was going to be fine. And then Gene Romero called up and said that we had both gotten fired.
Ricky's days as the factory-backed big gun were over. Others now basked in the Grand National Dirt Track spotlight, raced for love of the game and to ensure their places in the history of the sport, carved careers that would take them around the world, wrote their own chapters in the record book while cashing those big factory checks.
And I thought, man, I gotta make money. And then I couldn't ride good trying hard to make money, you know, just I was tight at the races. I mean, I couldn't even qualify in that same year they started the Camel Challenges, and I didn't even make hardly any of them because I was just trying so hard that nothing was flowing properly, you know.
Graham's struggle went on for 5 long winless seasons. It finally ended in '91. A Skip Eakin Honda and Ricky Graham's consummate skills put the man called Mr. Springfield back in victory circle. He beat the best in the business at the track where he earned his nickname. Ricky was back again, and the boys all took notice. '92 was a year of setting the stage. Johnny Goad put Ricky on a good bike. With the backing of Team Undo's Jim Landis, Graham had a first-class effort with which to challenge the factory Harleys of Parker and Carr. The horsepower wasn't quite there yet, though, and Carr claimed his long-sought title with Rocket Ricky hot on his heels. Was the runner-up disappointed? Not a bit.
A lot of people ask me, you know, how come you can't beat Chris and Scotty? Right now, I'm up there back on the level, but when you're racing for the #1 championship, you're on a total different level than all the other riders. And this year was a building year for us. You know, real happy with what we did. Next year we got to get some more horsepower, and we'll be beating them.
Those may have been the most prophetic words in Grand National history. Graham didn't just beat him in '93. He showed up in the best shape of his life, eager as a colt, talented as ever, tempered by years of experience. 9 years, in fact, after his last #1 plate, he set out to take that baby back at San Jose in the spring. He won his first mile track heat race of the season by the length of the straightaway.
Well, I feel stronger. Last year was, you know, our first year of a comeback, getting back into, you know, this racing, and you know, I've got a beautiful bike Johnny Goad prepares here, and it does. It feels a lot better than last year.